Hello and welcome to another episode of the PHOTCAST series. I'm here with Alejandra and Alamghir, two of the Master of Science in Photonics Engineering program students. We are in the student lab in the 6th floor of the building FOPUP. And these students, will or have done their experiments for the courses in this lab. And then we have like other laboratories upstairs for the research that is ongoing in BFOT. So this is a very nice setting to have, I guess. And we have Genesis in the back doing her thesis. So guys, that's your future. So I'm going to start with a bit of introduction. Guys, each one of you, I want to know, the audience would love to know who you are, where do you come from, let's say what your background is and so on. So please, Alejandra, you can start.
Sure. My name is Alejandra Gomez Ramirez. I'm Colombian. Just came to Europe for the first time for this master's. I'm a physics engineer from my home university in Medellin, Colombia, the National University of Colombia. And just been 1 month in Europe. For now, very excited to what's to come.
All right, that's very nice. And you said your background is in physics engineering.
Physics engineering, yes.
That's very nice. How about you, Alamghir?
Well, I'm from Pakistan, from a small village in the north up mountains of Pakistan. So it's a long way from there to Belgium. And I have done my bachelor's in engineering sciences with a focus on mathematical modeling. And after that, I had about 3 years of experience in industry. And I think quite different sectors. And then finally, I had this thought process that I should do something that's more interesting and more future oriented. So I got into photonics. And yes, right now I'm in my second master's year program.
All right. That's very nice. So your first year and your second year.
Yes.
That's right.
So you're both studying in this MSPE program. And the first question is, how did you come across this opportunity? Like, was it the website that you saw and you were like, oh, okay, I should do that master program? Was it like a video you saw? Was it like a friend was it a friend that did the master and then you were enticed or interested in pursuing the same program? What was it that made you motivated to follow this program?
In my case, I knew that I wanted to do a master's in optics or photonics. I've been looking for since the past year to see what masters were out there. I came across a few, and when I searched for in general, I came across this one, and in the same week, I discovered that this existed. Tatevik was in Colombia, in my city, giving a talk because we were in a congress of theoretical physics. So she was there. I met her. I also know a couple of people from my city that have been here, whereas a master's student or just internships. So I connected with them and got to know a bit more about the program.
Oh, that's very nice. Very nice. So you had a strong connection to BFOT before coming.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
What you Alamghir?
I think in my case, while I was doing my bachelor's program, as part of my degree, there was an elective on photonics. So there was some work on photonics going on at my university in Pakistan, but I was not very aware or very interested at that point. And later on, I think I was working at IBM in Pakistan, and then I read about their research in quantum computing and their labs in Europe. And then that clicked, okay, this looks something that's interesting and that's something that's future oriented. So let's learn more about it. And then I got to know about how photonics is empowering that whole industry. And I searched for photonics programs, and I think somehow Google led me to the VUB page. And then from there, it all started.
Yeah, that's very nice. That's very nice. So IBM is also strongly present in Belgium, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's very nice. Yeah. So Alejandra, you said that it has been only 1 month that you have started being in Europe and started your program. How has it been?
Yeah, I would say the first few days were a bit tough because you're leaving your country and you're very far away from it, and sure, yeah, you miss your family, certain foods, that type of stuff. But it gets definitely easier. I have been like fortunate that we've only known each other for like 4 weeks, and now we have like our friends and the other students of the first year. We have like a very good connection. So I guess that's the main reason that I feel so at ease right now.
That's very nice.
It's been good, and the classes. Yeah, sure. At first, it's tough to get used to the rhythm because it's a lot of classes, but like you start finding your own rhythm and like what's the best way to study and stuff like that.
Yeah. And you're gonna do one of your mock exams tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow I have the first mock exam. I think it's a good thing because it's not like, sure, there's pressure to do well, but it's not, since it's a trial, and like for students like me who don't know what's an oral exam, it's a really good thing to do to get like prepared for the actual thing in the end.
Are there any courses that you're looking forward to, especially like the ones that you haven't tried yet?
Yeah, like I've been browsing through electives of next semesters, but right now I'm actually really into the one that we have the mock exam tomorrow, which is lasers.
Okay.
I like an elective I'm seeing, which is optical design.
That's very nice.
Those subjects are really cool.
Yeah. And Alamghir, as a second master student, you've been there, and what's your take? How was it in the first days that you were in this program, and then was there any course that you liked better than the other ones?
I think the first few days were, to be honest, a roller coaster ride for me, because I was out of the academia for quite a while, for 2 to 3 years, and then coming back to books and opening up the books, there was so much inertia in me that I don't want to study this, not back to the maths. So it was challenging for me in the initial, I think, first 6 months. The first semester was really tough. Yeah. And the courses are, I believe now when I reflect on it, the courses are a bit more demanding in the initial days. Yeah. Because you're just getting used to all the photonics and all the equations and the light equations and the maths. So it's a bit overwhelming sometimes. But when you look back, and then you can see that, okay, then it starts to make sense gradually. And you then get to select a path where you feel more comfortable and you feel more excited about it. So right now, I think I'm on that stage where I have picked up something, and I feel that's something that I'll go forward with. And in my case, I think it's my thesis on machine learning in photonics. So that's something I'm looking forward to.
That's very nice. And you were both staying in the university dorms, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And was there any, let's say, issue or doubt that you're going to get it or not?
You mean in terms of the housing availability?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's always a challenge, especially in Brussels. The housing it's a difficult thing to get, and you have to be really looking forward to filling applications and searching for accommodation. But in the case of in my case, I know that the program coordinators of BPhOT, Majori, she helped us a lot, and it was a very smooth transition. Like I personally didn't have to go through a lot of hassle with accommodation.
Right, yeah.
That was a good thing.
Yeah, same as me. Even like I came the first day that the dorm was available to me, like I could pick up my keys, just because it was easier than to pay a hotel for a week before. And like I was really worried because they said that I had to show my ID in the desk, but I haven't got it yet because I wasn't in the country. So like Majori was really helpful with that, because she told me that she would just meet me and this is like I landed in Brussels, got the train, came to VUB. I had all of the luggage with me, and like I met her and it was fine because we went to the desk and claimed the keys. And housing wise, I think I'm very fortunate because there are still like students in the first year that don't have accommodation, so the dorms are really nice actually.
So they did not go for dorms, or they didn't get dorms?
They didn't get, I guess, It's a mix of both. Like some applied later, so by the time they applied, the dorms weren't available. Others, like I guess, didn't realize. It's a mix of both.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Some people really want to get the experience of living in the city, other than like, I don't know, student housings and so on, because some people had like 3-4 years of it already in their bachelor's, and they're like, okay, let's get the different experience. And in the master's, for example, we have several opportunities for going abroad. Like you could go for an exchange semester. You could actually do your thesis abroad, and you could go for an internship. And I know Alamghir had such an experience. So first I'm going to go with you, Alamghir. How was your experience? Where did you go? What company? And so on?
I think the experience, if I summarize it, it was really nice. It was very enjoyable and pleasant. The company that I was placed in was ADB Safegate. It's in Zaventem. It's a company that deals with equipments for the airfield lighting industry. So everything that's there on the airport, from the lights on the runways to equipment that detects if the plane is aligned with the terminal or not. So they make everything, and it was quite exciting to see their production facility, to see all the equipment being made there, the design, the engineers, and the testing. I was part of the quality and validation team. So we had to test the lights, and as a photonics engineer, I was there as a photonics engineering intern. So my role was to do what I was studying in the lab. So I had to actually do the photometric tests, but on a large scale, with bigger machines. So that was exciting, and I think it was quite fun. I got to know about how the professional life in Belgium is. It's a bit different than Pakistan. There's more diversity, I would say, because there are more people from all around the world, and so it's fun.
Alrighty. So generally, you had a very good experience, and you'd recommend it.
I definitely recommend it, and I would recommend ADB Safegate personally, because they had a really cool culture of every Friday you would get these coffee cookies, and so you could enjoy that with your colleagues. So we always used to look forward to that on every Friday.
Last day of the week, you're looking forward to the weekend already, and then you get together with your colleagues.
Yes,
that's very nice. And for you, Alejandra, was this something that you looked forward to, or are looking forward to, like this internationalization scheme that this program has?
Yeah, completely. It was one of actually like the one of the factors, I guess, that influenced a lot on my decision, because there's programs that are more limited in that regard, but here there's even possibility to do 2 internships, a short one and a long one, which I think it's the best that you can do, because I have also had the opportunity to do internships, and it's like, I think it's the best way to learn, honestly. So I am very looking forward to do both of them.
All right. And do you have your eyes on a specific country from now?
I don't think so. Like it's more about the topic, or like the company, than the country, I guess. Yeah. Hopefully it's not north, where it's more cold than here. But
the good thing about north is that their summers are nice. They have very extremely long days. So and you're gonna do the internships in the summer. So
that's true. Yep.
Something to consider. So you have let's say 120 credits to pass in order to receive your degree. I'm not going to scare you, but with the skills that you're going to acquire by the end of your master's, and when you think about these things, okay, I'm going to get a skill set, I'm going to learn a lot of different things in different topics, and then I'm going to specialize in a certain thing. Now, how would this master, so the question is, how would this master contribute to your future goals? Like, you have a goal in mind, you're going toward it, and then this master's is just a step in that path. So how do you see that? Like, how does this master contribute to your path, to your goal?
I think when I reflect on this, it's actually a good question, because I think that's something that we should be thinking about. to connect the dots well. When I look forward to it, I see that these courses, they show you the possibility of what's possible in the industry, along with what's already happening, but also what will be happening in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yep.
So for example, right now we have a subject on recent trends in photonics, where we have to deliver a presentation of one of the trending hot topics in photonics. And I'm personally thinking of going with virtual reality, VR,
Yep.
because we are seeing that Apple has recently announced their headset, and I think it will be in the market next year.
Yeah.
They're already there. Microsoft has already launched their HoloLens.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the name. And Facebook has their own, Meta has their own, yeah. And now these are the things that are in the market. But when you look at through it from an academic perspective, you also have research in lenses which can be implanted at the back of your eye. So retinal projection, holographic lenses, and all of these crazy stuff, which sound like science fiction, but they're actually in research and they're happening. And you get to know about this, and then you can definitely take that as a PhD. And VUB has, I think, a lot of different faculties where you can actually take these things forward. Yeah. And I'm actually also doing a course on virtual reality, which it's between ULB and VUB. Yeah. So yeah, there are a lot of possibilities, and this degree, I think, the essence of it is it opens up you to all the possibilities that are there in the industry.
Yeah. So that's very true. That's very true. So you get a sort of a basis.
Yes.
On all the topics that are important in photonics, or that are hot. Well, all of them are important. Are hot in photonics, and then you see what you like. For your example, is VR, machine learning, and then you pick that as your specialization. And then you can, let's say, even go abroad. You could actually go to, let's say, somewhere that has very good, let's say, standing in these kind of things like machine learning and VR.
Definitely.
And then maybe a combination of both.
Yeah.
And then you do a sort of internationalization, and then you come back, you finish your master's here, and then you're a professional with a good basis in photonics. So
yes,
that's something that you can get out of it.
That's
very
agree.
nice. Good point.
And
how about you, Alejandra?
I think also that the fact that this is located like in Belgium, Brussels, is another important factor, because Europe in general is trying to push the boundaries, and like if you see what are the areas that they're investing more in, photonics is always in the list. So I think like geographically being here in Europe is a really good advantage. That was also something like I was searching for.
Yep.
And yeah, I agree, like with the internships, with all of, especially the year 2 courses, I believe you can get all of this insight into what are they doing actually with photonics.
So a bit of a, let's say, change of scenery. Let's talk a bit about culture. Yeah, you're coming from Pakistan, you're coming from Colombia, and Belgium, I bet, is very different from your home countries. So the question is, well, in the 1 month that you've been here, or in the past year that you've been here, what cultural differences have you seen or noticed? And then, maybe you could shed a bit of light on the cultural differences that you experienced and how different they are.
Well, I think the main thing for me this past month would be eating habits, because everybody eats so differently. You're so used to, in my country, we're so like strict on the meals that you have to have 3 meals, and we don't have like this big dinner. We have a big lunch, but we don't have like a big dinner. Yeah. So it's weird, because in the housing units, I'm always at noon cooking, and nobody else is cooking, and I'm like, these people don't eat. But yeah, I've seen that it's completely different. Everybody eats differently, and it's actually cool, because like in the housing unit, I have two roommates that are African, from Kenya and from Nigeria. So it's so fun to see, like, we cook completely different things. Yeah. So it's like food-wise, I would say that's the main thing for me.
Yeah. Any specific dish or food that you specifically miss?
That I miss?
Yeah, specifically.
So much.
Everything.
Yeah. I would say a really common dish in my country, which is sancocho, which is like a big soup with chicken, potatoes, yuca, which I don't know actually the name of it in English or if it exists here.
No idea.
So yeah, a bunch of like, and fruit generally, because we have so much fruit and it's so cheap and everything here. It's pretty expensive.
That's true.
Yeah.
Everything is almost imported. How about you, Alamghir?
For me, I think the biggest change that I had to adopt was the weather, because Pakistan has all the 4 seasons. You know that you expect summers to be summers, and then you have the spring, and then you have the autumn and the winter, and you know that you have to expect having the clothings for each summer and how long it should be. But in Belgium, it's like, okay, there is summer, but there is rain. There is winter, there is always rain. And then you're always in this flux between having the umbrella in the bag and then making sure you have the warm clothes in summer, but also expect rain and at any point. So that's something I got to use to. It took some time. But now, yes, I keep an umbrella in my bag every time.
Now you're safe.
Now I'm safe, yeah.
One of the important things that we usually experience with these culture shocks, or whatever you call it, is that they affect how we go about our lives. And an important part of our lives when we are doing a master's, especially such an intensive master's, is how they affect our studies. Now, with the inability to see the sun for several months, probably in the winter, or with maybe some difficulties with finding the ingredients that you want to make your daily dishes. What do you think about these kind of things? Like, can you go about your studies as you would back home, as you're doing right now? Would it be the same?
I think when I look at having a master's in an environment that's really diverse and multicultural, one of the benefits is that you have inputs from people from all around the world. They have their own experiences that they have in their own countries before coming to Belgium, and then sometimes you can really understand their perspective and use things that they had, let's say, done in their own country to help them cope up with that particular kind of stress or studies related things. So one of the benefits that I have experienced here is that having a very diverse friends from Ecuador, from Nigeria, from Bangladesh, from all around the world, you get to listen to their playlists, and it helps really during the studies. So I'm listening to this Spanish regrete, I think. Reggaeton, yeah. So you get to pump up all the adrenaline with that music, and it's fun. You get to exchange a lot of different ideas.
You study with reggaeton?
Sometimes, yeah.
All right.
So it's fun.
Best way to learn.
Yeah, of course.
So I think it's fun. You get to experience different things of different sides of life, which maybe you would miss out if you were in a very unique cultural area. So it's nice.
Yeah, and like having those moments where like you're studying with a group of people from all over the world, and of course you have like this little breaks where you just talk about how different everything is for every person, not only like study wise, because of course we all study differently, but like the cultures. I've been studying lasers and having in between deep conversations about religion and stuff, and it's so interesting because everybody has so different backgrounds. So I think that's really it's a really cool thing, because like also I think that for example in my country there's a lot of studies of optics and photonics is actually kind of strong there. But I wanted to experience living abroad and learning new things from different people.
Yeah. So to sum up what you said, there are of course some cultural differences from home and with respect to Belgium. And then when you think about it, there are some very nice people who are going through the same thing, and you help each other through it.
Yes.
So because you can't fix Belgian beautiful weather, but still you could hold each other's hand and go through it. Huh?
Yeah. Or have a barbecue in the rain.
I'm not sure that would work, but okay.
Because it sometimes rains, so when we start having a barbecue and then there's rain, just have
in
it
the summer, in the middle of the summer, right?
Yeah.
In August, everything is sunny. You start your barbecue, nice weather.
Yeah.
But you still enjoy.
You still enjoy, yeah? Like, yeah. So again, talking about culture, I'm going to give you an example, and then you could maybe build on that. So back home, we had in our masters, we had maybe 3-4 courses, and then we would pass that, let's say, set of courses during 1 year, and then we would give some written exams, and then everybody would speak in my own language, Persian, and then everything would go smoothly for me because that was what I was, let's say, that was something I was used to. Came here, it was completely different. People talked in Dutch in the university, French in the city. Exams were oral. Instead of 3 exams, I had maybe 8 exams in 1 semester. So a lot of things were different for me, and that would, I would say, count as work culture or study culture in this university. Maybe you could also talk a bit about that, like how is it for you guys, like studying in this new environment?
Yeah, I would say that for me, I work very good under pressure.
Yeah.
So when I have in Colombia, we have exams and finals during the whole semester. So it's not like last month and they evaluate everything like you saw in all of the classes. But we have different exams, and each one is for different chapters. So it was easier for me because you don't study so much material, and you have like this constant deadlines that put pressure on you to continue studying during the semester, whereas here there's only final oral exams. So it has to be up to you to study each week.
That's very true.
So you have to like put in perspective that at the end of December you're gonna be, if you don't study anything, you're gonna be completely at a disadvantage. So yeah, it's
the first case you said was for your bachelor's or for the master's in
both,
your university?
It's both. I haven't done a master's in my university in Colombia, but yeah, my friends that did masters, it's the same thing. And as well, there weren't so many courses in the masters. Usually it's more that you research and do the thesis since the beginning of the masters, and the courses that you see are again 5 or something like that. So it is pretty different, but I wanted to do this because since my background is engineering physics, I did work a lot in optics, like the last 3 years on my bachelor's. My bachelor was 5 years. But I wanted to see like the really core subjects of photonics and optics, because I think that's the best way. Like if you have a strong base or strong pillars, then you can like research way better.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. How about you, Alamghir? How did you experience it?
I think looking back at my bachelor's, because I did not have experience with the master's in Pakistan yet, the way we would study there is something similar, that we had exams every 6 months, and we knew that there would be a question from each chapter. So what I would do is I would wait until the end of the exam, and then we would have a group study where everyone has prepared a chapter and we are sharing notes. And then when you go to the exam, already if you don't know all the chapters, you can still manage with, let's say, 60-70% of the course, and you can get a good grade by going through a crash course at the end, which was a trick that most of us in engineering would do, but I wouldn't recommend it because that didn't work out here.
Of course
you can't go with a crash course because you have a lot of curriculum, and I think the examination style is particularly unique, that when you're in an oral exam, you cannot get around a subject. You really have to know to explain it, because if you don't understand it, you cannot explain it. So the crash course tip didn't work, and that's how I got to know that, okay, now I have to really go from the start and not work around it. So that's something that I felt was different compared to Pakistan, that you really need to know the whole subject and have a good understanding of it from the start to the end, including the derivations and how it links to the theory and how the theory links with the derivations. And if you know all of this, and then you can have a good conversation with the professor. If you don't know, there's no crash notes around it.
Yeah. And how do you like this, let's say, different examination style? Do you like it better, or do you think that is, well, you haven't experienced it yet, but I don't know, maybe you have a notion about it. How do you like it?
I think initially I did not like it very much because I was finding it challenging to adapt to it. Yeah. But now when I look back to it, I think the plus point of such a style is that it makes you really understand the subject really well. Yeah. If you don't understand it really well, then you cannot go across it, and you have to really sit and study and then attempt it again. Yep. So I would say it's difficult. It's not easy to adapt to this challenge, let's say in 6 months, but if you start early and just keep on going through the whole content step by step and not wait till the end and do those engineering cheat sheet lists, and then you're fine. It's good.
All right. How about you, Alejandra?
I think I like as well the oral aspect to it, because I like the fact that, because most of the exams that I like for the courses I'm seeing right now are written preparation with the oral exam. So you kind of like get to think what you're gonna answer, write down your answers, and then you get like the opportunity to justify your answers, talking to the professor, which I think is nice actually. Yeah. But I really don't like the fact that it's in the end and I have to study everything this semester, and it's gonna be a lot of content for one exam.
That's very true.
But yeah, that's how it is, I guess.
One aspect that back home, as I said, it was the same style as you guys experienced. Like, okay, we had like a midterm, and then we had like a, let's say, final. And then, everything would be cut into smaller pieces, and it would be easier to do it. But then there was one problem, and that was that we were like, I don't know, maybe 30 students, 40 students in a class. And then the professors couldn't really spend time with each one of us. So, the bad thing was that you would write anything that you would know on the paper, and then you would give it to the professor, and he later on, with any state of mind, would start correcting your exam. And I don't know, maybe sometimes they're frustrated, and it's not going to be fair. But now in this style, something that I notice is that they're sitting in front of you. You see their state of mind. You talk to them. And a lot of times it happens that you don't remember something, but talking to them, you'd remember it, because they're there to help you. They're not there to investigate you, to kill you. They're like, okay, but what about that little thing that you might not remember? And they help you to get to the point that they can give you a good or better score. And that's, I think, one of the best advantages of it, because for me, for a full year, I was against it. I was like, oh my God, every time going through this, I wrote everything here, read it. But no, talking about it was better. Now I know. As I said, we are in a Dutch-speaking university, and we are living in a French-speaking city. Well, mainly French-speaking. So two aspects: personal lives. You go to shops, you go to bazaars, you go to, I don't know, Sunday markets, and then you have to speak with people in the city, and then you have Belgian professors, you have French professors, and then you have to talk to them. Have you experienced any, let's say, cultural or language barriers with respect to other people outside academia and, well, your supervisors, your teachers?
Well, in regards to teachers, for now, no. All of them speak really good English, so I understand them and they understand me, so that's nice. Also with the students, sometimes there are accents that are a little bit hard to figure out, but fortunately everybody speaks English. And also, like, going back to the multicultural thing, since we're all from different places of the world, it's not like there's a big group of Colombians or people that speak Spanish and we're only speaking Spanish between us. In our case, it isn't like that because everybody's from a different country, so we all speak English. But outside the university, I did have like one situation where there was a French-speaking person and she didn't speak English. So I was trying to communicate with her, so she kind of understood some words in English. I kind of understand some French because it's similar to Spanish. But yeah, like I don't feel like I haven't had any moment where people are rude because I don't speak French or Dutch, so that's good.
Yeah. And how about you, Alamghir?
I think I would say something similar. In the university, it's not a problem. Everyone speaks English and you can communicate with the professors. And I think this program is entirely in English, so that's not an issue. But when we talk about going out the university in the cities, Brussels is a very diverse city, I would say, and you find people from all around the world. So far, I have not had really a lot of instances where I would have to had a challenge with communicating in French or in Dutch. Maybe sometimes at the commune where they didn't understand English, and then I had to ask for my card, and she was talking in French, and I'm like, wait, let me pull out the translator. And
sometimes they don't stop, do they?
Yeah, and then I had to write it down, and I showed her in French, and I'm like, I'm here to pick up the card, and then, but it always works at the end.
Yeah.
And I think by the time of having 1 year, you pick up some French words, so it's good.
And Brussels is quite international, so the chance of that happening is quite, I think,
very
limited.
low.
Yeah. My case was also in the commune.
Yeah.
So
sometimes. Let's go to the next topic, and it's about your personal growth. So you're going to do this masters, and then what comes afterward, and how do you think you can prepare during this masters for what is to come?
I think for me right now, I'm almost at the edge of my masters because I can see the end very near. So this question is quite relevant. That I think, especially as Alejandro said, that being in Brussels is a point. It's a plus point because you get to see all the recent developments happening all around you. The research groups are here. There are a lot of them in Ghent, many of them in neighboring countries. So for me right now, I can see there are many options that are open. If maybe I want to go into academia, I can do a PhD, or in the industry, then there is a lot of industry in Belgium, in Netherlands, in Germany, and you can see all these routes opening up. So I think I'm quite hopeful and quite happy to look forward to the next few years that are coming up. They're exciting.
Yeah. And how about you, Alejandra?
Yeah, regarding to like professional life, I also think that being here, having this degree will open a lot of new doors for us. But also like the experience of living away from your home, it's also a contributing factor because, we all know that looking for jobs in photonics, it's way easier. In my case, outside of my country, there's more opportunities. So, starting to get like that independence, getting the rhythm of living by yourself, and all of these things also help a lot.
Yeah. And maybe now that you guys both have some experience with the masters and also with, let's say, getting into the masters and everything that comes with it, maybe you could give some recommendations. Maybe we can go with Alamghir because he's already 1 year into the masters. What suggestions do you have for a first master and maybe somebody who's interested in photonics?
I think the only suggestion I would have is to make sure that you take everything step by step and from the start, not wait till the end for things to pile up, and not just in terms of academics, but also in terms of your career perspectives and career goals. That if you really see yourself going into research, just start from the beginning and have those things in mind, and give a little bit of time to looking into research groups, into what kind of things that you are interested into, and moving step by step in that direction, so that you don't have to do everything at the end, that you're managing your exam, your thesis, and also your future goals.
So simply plan ahead.
Plan ahead
for everything.
So that you have time and you can take it step by step.
And for somebody who's not yet in the masters, do you have any suggestions for them? Should they do the masters?
In photonics, definitely. Like photonics is, I think, one of the best fields to be, because we have passed the mechanical age, the electronics age is also gone, and now we're in the photonics age. So I think that's the best thing to be in right now in terms of the next 20 to 50 years. I think photonics is the leader in the way technology is heading to. So it's definitely a field to be in. And the master's program, yes,
Yeah.
Definitely, I would recommend it.
Yeah. Alejandro, you're not, let's say, that much yet into the masters, but what do you suggest for somebody who want to do the masters?
Yeah, I would agree a lot on planning ahead, because sometimes you look into a field and you think you know how it goes and what are the subjects and stuff like that, but it's not until you're in it that you can actually speak that I like it, I don't like this. So I would recommend that try to like have a little bit of just like by searching up yourself or doing internships or stuff like that, try to get into, if photonics is your thing, try to find something before you apply to a master's. I would say it's a pretty good thing. If not, I would also say that, for example, in this program, I have felt really welcomed, because sometimes you apply to these giant programs and you don't, like, the human contact you have is minimum.
Yeah.
You don't talk a lot with the organizers, the directors, the professors even. So I like that. I haven't felt that here. Like I said, majority, which is one of the main parts of this program, has been really helpful to me.
Yeah, the personal touch here is significant, I would say.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And cheers to Majori.
Yeah, really. Thank you, Majori.
Thank you, Majori.
So let's finish on this topic of memorable moments. Has there anything happened in the time that you've been here that you want to point out? Something fun? I don't know, maybe a sort of activity that you've done, culture shock, a mistake. A friend of mine lost a tooth having an accident with a bike. He just was hit with a bike, so.
Well, I think one of the things that I can remember, it's a pleasant experience, thankfully, is that I got to learn how to make a good steak, from a friend from Ecuador. So he really, and he's also a master's in Photonics Engineer. So we now get together and we make barbecues, and now really have mastered the. Sorry?
In the dorms you do barbecue?
No, not in the dorms, but at a
during
friend's
the summer.
place. Yeah, not in the dorms.
In the garden,
Yeah, and now I would say I've mastered how to make a good steak, and I can go back in Pakistan and show off my skills.
That's nice. I don't believe you. You have to show me.
Definitely. I'll invite you next time.
I can.
Yeah,
I tried the steak and it was very nice. So I
approved.
I approve. Yeah, it's true that he learned.
You have to give me.
I'll invite you for the next one.
Thanks, man. How about you, Alejandra?
There's been a couple actually, like pleasant, as hopefully,
That's nice.
pleasant experiences. I remember we were in this mainly a ULB party, and I was with a bunch of friends from the master's program, and like the party ended and we were trying to find somewhere because it ended like at 11. It was really early. So we went to a bar. We don't know. This is like the first week, I think, we've been here. So we don't know anything. And we just go to this bar, which actually ends up being like a very famous place, Delirium.
All right.
So I had the best time because they put a lot of reggaeton and there were a bunch of people from Latin America. Yeah. So it was really fun. And it was funny because one of the students, Arda, he's Turkish. Yeah. He said that he never in his life listened to that music. Okay. And I put him the music like before that party, and he didn't like it. And I was like, you have to experience it in a nice environment for you to like it. And like after that party, he said like from now on, I only go to parts that they play reggaeton, which was nice.
That's really nice. That's really nice. Right, now we've finished on a good note. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
You have been very good guests for the podcast. And thank you, the audience, for bearing with us all along. And we hope to see you for another episode of PHOTCAST in the near future.